Today we're here with Tim Gentilozzi, who's a candidate for Clarksburg City Council. Tim is a practicing attorney and a longtime Clarksburg businessman. Tim, what's your vision for the city of Clarksburg?
My vision for the city would be to compete in the modern era, compete with the more developed areas of Morgantown and Bridgeport, and complement the high-tech corridor, because I think Clarksburg is uniquely positioned to be part of the growth of that high-tech corridor. So my vision would be to try to compete, not just for the business, but also for the families who are looking to find a home or a neighborhood to reside. We would want to compete in that way also.
You know, Tim, the city's done a great deal of demolition in neighborhoods, and it's looked toward by many in the state as being progressive in its revitalization efforts. Do you agree with the city's current program, and why? And if you don't agree, why not?
Overall, I do agree with the program. I believe that because Clarksburg was one of the earliest developed cities, it's one of the older cities, we had a lot of older housing. And with the aging of the housing and the aging of the neighborhoods, in order to revitalize it was necessary for them to remove some of the dilapidated structures. That I agree with. I would look to improve the program and make sure that it is impartial and it doesn't care who owns the property, but as much as if it needs to come down, it's going to come down, and no politics in the program. That's the only way I would advance the program.
The city's infrastructure is aging, and in particular, we're concerned about roadways. Would you support a user fee or a worker tax to help pave more roads?
No, I would not support a user fee or a tax on the workers. I don't believe that our current workers can afford, with the cost of living today, they couldn't afford to pay any more taxes. In addition, I think the best way to revitalize would be to encourage business development and increase our tax base through redevelopment. And in that way, we can increase our tax base and put more money in the roads. But I would not be in favor of taxing the workers, no.
You know, Tim, the city scored some big wins of late with the Brownsfield redevelopment projects, the state office building, and Highland Hospital. Are you pleased with the city's direction, and how would you improve it?
I agree with you. I think we've made great strides in the developments of most recent developments have been very good for our city. The redevelopment of the Glen Oak No. 2 property, the development of the Brownsfield at the Addison Flat Glass, the announcement by our governor the other day that he's going to bring the DMV to our downtown are very positive developments for our downtown. How I would improve it is I would look at ways to create an incentive for businesses to locate in our city. So I would look at ways to create incentives for businesses to locate here instead of picking White Oaks or picking Charles Point or potentially moving even more north. I would want to create tax incentives and things to have them invest here. Now, I know we haven't explored TIF very much in our city. I think that is one area where Clarksburg could benefit if they looked into some potential TIF redevelopment. Of course, you're familiar with the recent spat between Bridgeport and Morgantown, and how Bridgeport argued how dangerous the TIF in Morgantown, it could be hurt their development. What do you think we feel like in Clarksburg? I mean, we're 8 miles from the two TIFs, White Oaks and Charles Point, and we don't have great means to compete with those two projects. So we would look at ways to provide incentives for businesses to come here instead of elsewhere.
You know, Tim, voters will be going to the polls on June 4th. Why are you the right candidate for the city of Clarksburg?
John, I tell you, I believe I'm the right candidate because I'm lived the battles of being a small businessman. I've grown up in this town. I was born in Chestnut Hills, and I went to Chestnut Hills Grade School and Central Junior High and WI High School. I know this town. I know the people in this town, and I know how hard it is to make it in this town as far as a small business. So I feel I'm uniquely positioned in the fact that I have a lot of experience in small business. Not always easy. It's a struggle, but I have that experience to understand what a small businessman's viewpoint is, what his perspective is. Sometimes I feel some elected officials, without having that small businessman background, aren't as empathetic to the needs of the small businessman or understand what helps them succeed in business. Now, of course, lower taxes are always an assistance to small business people, but there's other ways the city could improve and help the small businessman. I think I'm uniquely positioned in the fact that I've been here. I've invested a lot of money in our downtown. I have an interest in this downtown to succeed. Therefore, I believe that it makes me uniquely positioned. In addition, I think my legal experience is an assistance. I have a lot of experience reviewing contracts and business negotiations. I perform a lot of work in court in front of circuit court judges across the state. So I think that I could be an asset to the city, and I have some unique qualities I believe that would be an asset. I'm from here, I know this area, and I think I know how we can make it better.